Welcome to gravel racing.
Go, 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 go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I don't want to go this way. Don't go off the cliff. Don't go off the cliff. Okay. Dude.
Good morning. We are at the Cobbler 10.0, the 10th version of this. I've learned so much from last year, and so the bike that I'm running, much different than a full-on road bike. I also have a skin suit and Velotoes. Now, how stupid is Velotoes on an 8-7 hour gravel ride? I don't know. Who cares? I like the way they look. Look good, ride hard. Hey, so we're going to break down my version of the Cobbler 10.0. We're going to start with the course, kind of go through the sections I saw it. So we started with a really fast part. This is everyone trying to separate themselves. That moved into the Mud Canyon, which was totally crazy and caused a lot of issues for a lot of people. Then there was the Cow Path of Death, probably the most spectacular spot of the course. Then we had an insane 45% grade hike-a-bike section. That moved on to the fun part, the best part of the course, absolutely amazing. Then I had a small little oopsie. We will talk about this, and not to spoiler alert, but my crash and rally and how I kept going after the hardest crash of my life. Real quick, let's break down the bike. I'm running my Canyon Grizzle. This thing is an absolute beast. Now, we threw on the SRAM XX1 derailleur, mountain bike derailleur, so we could run the 1152 rotor setup with the ceramic rotor bottom bracket, and I'm running a 46 oval in the front. Huge shout out to Justin from Competitive Cyclist for getting this to me in time. That dropper post, unbelievable. But the main part of this is the forks, the 30 mils of travel. Completely changes the way this thing handles. I threw on my ultimate integrated bars. So awesome, light and comfy. My favorite saddle of all time, but that dropper post, 50 mils of travel, wow. Now we're running the IRC Double Cross 42s with orange seal. I've never flatted those tires. We're running the Cadex 35 AR hookless gravel specific wheels. This thing is a monster, the absolute perfect bike to bring to the Cobbler.
We have started spicy. It is spicy.
So we're going to break down the fast part here, and it started with 1,000 people. 1,000 people, that's insane. So there was 4 waves, 250 in each wave, right? So the front of this got spicy fast. Now I'm doing 700 watts on this bike path. This part of the course though, this is the weakest part for my bike. So last year I rode a full-on road bike setup that was extremely fast on the road, but I never really used it. Anytime we were on anything fast was very limited, and or we weren't even going that fast. Like the lead out last year was really slow. It's like the second we hit the gravel, it was on. So then I was like, oh, of course, the time I bring the bike that's not fast on the road, everyone's smashing on this road part. But it was okay. You know, it got spicy for a minute, but for the most part, I'm feeling really, really good right now. My fitness is on point. I have been riding the trainer for 90 days. So, you know, like, look, I am ready to be outside and to give it the absolute berries. Huge group of people, right? Everyone's trying to fight to get to the front before we hit the single track. My teammate, Julian here, he was actually in a breakaway with Corey Williams at CBR. He ended up getting 9th overall in this race. So fantastic job to him. I want to talk way more about the race team and what's going on there later on in the year. But look, we hit this climb and it's spicy, okay, but not like outrageous. No one's giving a full-on attack. And I came in with a plan to absolutely pace myself. I'm going to Dylan Johnson myself. I am going to pace for 80 miles. I don't care anyone around me. This is a new tactic for me. But it worked out for Dylan Johnson. I don't care who's around me. I don't care if anyone's riding away from me. I care nothing about me
I'm the only one I care about. So I'm going to set my power. I'm going to focus on an 80-mile, 5-hour race, and that's it. That's all I'm focusing on. Now, I don't plan on stopping at any rest stops. I have 2 bottles on me with 800 calories and 200 grams of carbs. And then in my hydro pack, I have basically the same thing. I've got 70 grams of ketones on me that I will be taking in periodically throughout the ride. So I'm dialed with calories and carbs and ketones. I'm good. Now, are we going Mach 10 into a hard right? Yes. And I posted this on Instagram, 1.6 million views. It was a shit show, dude. A shit show. So after Top Gun freaking went Mach 10 into the group, I had actually lost a ton of space because I was like in my biggest gear and whatever. So now I got to catch up. I'm probably like 50th-ish, maybe. But it's time to let this bike eat. And with that 46, 52, I was able to climb everything. Outside of the hike-a-bike section, which no one on the face of the planet could ever climb, I could pedal up every single thing. So I was just like right now, and the dude to the right, who looks like Chase Sexton actually, that's like the exact same bike that I was riding last year. So I'm pacing myself. Dude in the blue blows by me. That's fine. Cool, dude. I am sticking to my plan. And I am going to feel out my bike. Now, I said this before I even got here. I put it on Instagram. I said, I'm probably going to leave in a hospital. I'm going to leave in a hospital. I'm going to leave in an ambulance to a hospital because the bike is so spunky and allows you this fake confidence that you're on a full suspension mountain bike. This bike that I'm on eats everything. It's so wild. And so I was like trying to take it a little bit easy. Guy comes around me, almost runs into a shopping cart. Why is there a shopping cart here? Because Bakersfield! I mean, there's just trash everywhere out here in Bakersfield for some reason. But I will say that Bakersfield in February is outstandingly beautiful. The rolling green hills, it's insane. Get on, dude. Get on the group.
Yeah, you got it.
Probably one of the cooler spots on the course visually. And look, I talk a lot during the ride. I give commentary with the GoPro in my mouth, but also to other people. Like, I just give encouragement. I'm just a good guy, Greg. It is what it is. So I'm sitting probably top 30 right now, and I was being a little bit hesitant with the bike. Again, like I said, I felt like I'm going to ask too much of these tires, and then I'm going to break my face. So I was trying to sort of ease into it a little bit because dude, there's so many places here where you could go 50 miles an hour, get cross-threaded, and then you're in the ER. And I don't want to do that so early on. Again, pacing myself. So remember the dude who flew by me at the top of that climb? Okay, I'm catching him and I'm moving on. So I'm very happy with my pacing. I'm on top of my fueling like nobody's business. This is honestly the best I've ever ridden, technically and intelligently, like the way that I paced it, the way I fueled it, my bike choice. Usually I'm an idiot. I was not an idiot here. I mean, maybe I become an idiot a little bit later, but then we go through a guy's house. 1,000 people go through this house.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, here we go. Let's go. Come on. Hell yeah. Let's go. That was so cool. Yeah.
So we are flying. And look, I use this dropper post. I almost ran the battery out. I used the dropper post so much. I used it while pedaling, right?
All right, top 30-ish. Feeling good. We're pacing. We're letting it burn.
So after a rip and road section, we get into this insanely long climb. Now, again, I'm a genius. I'm learning so much about how to race bikes. And so, after 12 years, I learned a thing or two. But I have the map set up. Also, I have the live segments set up and starred so that right here, you can see my bike computer. Dude, I know what's up. I know what's up. I didn't have to study the course. Like, I have this thing telling me I've got about a 25 to 30 minute climb ahead of me. So, am I going to pace? Yes, I'm going to pace so well. Now, are these guys flying? Sure. In times past, would I have wanted to be right on their wheel? Yeah, but not today. Not today.
It's okay. It's a long climb. We're pacing. We're sticking to the game plan.
Now, I had not expected mud whatsoever because it wasn't raining. Why would there be mud with no rain? And so as we kept going up this climb, it kept getting muddier and muddier and muddier. But it's beautiful. And again, I've got the live segment on my computer, so I know about how far we're going. Feeling really good. Again, pacing the carbs and ketones into my system, fully liquid, right? I don't eat solid food, but the cows.
Not today, boys. Not today.
Last year, cows yeeted people. Bulls yeeted people. Not today. So, like, you can see this guy right here, and it's so hard to explain, but his wheel is spinning so much faster than his legs, if that makes any sense. Like, he's just spinning. And so, stuck in the mud, you can see everyone here kind of hitting the same, like, oh, yeah, we could ride it. You could ride it, but you'd be doing 800 watts and going nowhere. So way more efficient to walk the bike. Now, I usually walk the bike by pushing the back seat, but the way and it's so hard to show you, but the ground is so bumpy. It's so rough. And so the front wheel kept getting stuck in the mud, and it was very hard to walk. Also, my shoes, I have these Bonts. They are so stiff. They are the stiffest things, and there's a sex joke in there somewhere, but you can't really walk in them because there's no flex in the sole. And so I actually was like, wow, these shoes are terrible for walking in, but they're great on the bike.
Dude, there's no traction. Come on. That's so wild. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Wow. That is muddy. Okay. Holy smokes. Oh my God. I don't want to go this way. Sorry.
So after surviving Mud Canyon, and look, this was so frustrating because my bike was the bike for this section. This is where I was going to make up a ton of time or definitely not lose time, right? And so I go off in the grass hoping, it's way more traction over here. Great idea. My chain's off. So right when I'm about to use a, million IQ bicycle race move, your boy's got no chain. So then I'm like, okay, well, that's normal. You know what I mean? It falls off from time to time, but then it just spins right off. And then it just spins right off, and then it would just spin right off, and it would spin right off. And I'm like, I don't understand the mechanism of why the chain is not staying on the sprocket. Because I've never had this problem before. So I'm like, it's got to be my derailleur. Something's wrong with my derailleur. And then I'm like, well, I'll just try to put the chain back on. But upon closer inspection, which I did not really see, there's so much mud in the chain that it won't go on the freaking sprocket. So it's just derailing constantly. But I don't know that at this point. I'm like frazzled. I'm like, dude, I was literally probably top 12 at this point. Like the best race I've ever had going for me. And then now it's derailing, and I'm just like, well, I don't understand it. And I didn't really give the time to fully diagnose the problem. I just thought, I just need to keep moving. Now look, everyone has problems. That's gravel racing. Everyone has problems. It's about mitigating those problems to where it's not a deal breaker for your race. Okay. And so the thing is that you can only fix problems that you've had in the past. Okay. So there's a lot of issues that will come up that I know exactly. Oh, that's the fix to this problem. I got it, or I know what I'm doing. Here, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't understand the problem. My chain's not twisted. My derailleur doesn't seem broken, but you can see it just is falling off over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm now losing my cool. Some people in gravel races, David Sweet, actually one of them, who he got a flat right away and then he was just like fine about it. Bro, I'm throwing a temper tantrum. I'm not showing you the audio because you would think less of me. Because I am literally a 2-year-old kid who has lost their juice box. So I try to pull a Chris Froome and I am sprinting, trying to get to the top because I'm super close to the downhill. Well, maybe I can just run to the top of this and then I can descend down without pedaling and try to get to an aid station to try to fix it or something. And dude, never let me work on your bike. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just yanking on stuff. I'm pulling on stuff. I am so very mad. I'm disappointed in my behavior. But whatever. I pop off. Okay? I don't hold grudges whatsoever. So when bad things happen, I just immediately go from 0 to 10, freak out, think that the world is against me. Why me? And then I forget about it. Right? I don't hold on to those feelings. Anyways, so then I'm like trying to go down this. Chain's not on the bike. I don't understand what's happening. I've lost so much time, probably 5-6 minutes, something like that. Right? So then I get to these little hills and I have no chain. So I have to jump off. I have to run over this little hill and hopefully something's going to happen. Right?
Okay, we fixed it. There was just mud in the chain and it would not go on the sprockets, though I've never seen anything like that before. Dude, we lost so much time. Hi, Mr. Dialed Health.
Yeah.
My lower back is hurting. What can I do while on the bike to help my lower back?
I'm gonna need some core engagement, ideally a posterior tilt of the pelvis. Make sure you're firing your glutes. Maybe you could stand and just squeeze those suckers. Put a goop between your cheeks so you can squeeze it out.
So now we come into the cow path of death, and I've completely forgot about that my bike had problems. I'm just now trying to make the best of the situation. And top 20 was my goal, and I'm still within that. If I could just have a great rest of the race, bro, I'm top 20 for sure. Now, I posted this on Instagram, and a lot of people were like, bro, you should have a mountain bike. Mountain bikes, when roadies do mountain bike things. Bro, everyone here has mountain bikes. The guy in front of me, Derek, he rides mountain bikes. He rips.
Don't go off the cliff. Don't go off the cliff.
So yeah, for this very one specific section, for a mile, is a mountain bike a better choice? Sure. But Christopher Blevins, the world champion short track mountain biker, is on a gravel bike. Gravel bikes are faster. The drop bars are faster. That's the whole point, to go fast. If you want to just finish, and then I fall right here, because someone else had gone off, right? And my front end just, it's all good, dude. It's all good. It's fine. Keep going. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? But we need to have a mistake-free race from here on out.
Okay. Well, this bike is clapped out. Feels like nothing is working. All good. Dude, what the hell? Jeez.
The hike-a-bike section was gnarly, very hikey-bikey. So you kind of had, look, do you ever practice hiking with your bike? No. And so there's like a form to it. There's a way to do it. But I was trying to figure that out on the fly. I think it was 45% was the gradient. And again, remember about the stiff shoes, the boner shoes? It was so impossible to walk up because I would go toe in and then my heel was coming out of the shoe. So then I was trying to go like duck foot, like going sideways, and that wasn't working. So I started crawling. That was the best way that I could do it. But the ground is really soft, but also super bumpy. It was really challenging for sure. And I actually lost Derek, from Dialed Health here on the hike-a-bike section. If you didn't do this right, you could lose 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So, I mean, I just love this course. I love the Rock Cobbler event just in general, but this was the funnest course I've ever ridden because it constantly had a new challenge, a new thing. And so you could, if you pace yourself right, if you were a good rider, my Velato's all messed up, but gotta look good. If you want to ride hard, you have to look good. There's so much opportunity. And that's what I think makes a really good race course is opportunity. If it's just a flat road, well then who's got the most power, right? Who can get the most aero, okay? But what if you have more to offer? What if you ride all the bikes? What if you have other skill sets? So this course had that. And it was like every 5 miles there was a new thing you could do. And then we went into the most fun part ever. Now, I don't want to hype this bike up too much, but it was the greatest bike ever to be created ever. It's the best. With this suspension fork, it's only got 30 mils of travel, okay? And people be like, bro, just ride a mountain bike. There's so many other reasons why this bike is awesome, but that suspension completely changes the way that this bike handles and behaves. Then I've got that dropper post. Now, the dropper post only has 50 mils of travel. There was an option for 75. I should have went with that. It was a little bit heavier, but because I've got alpha genetics and I'm 6'2", the 50 wasn't quite enough. But it was enough to get Cindy. And I am flying through this. Now, rest in peace, Ken Block, but what was going through my head here is that little audio that's trending where he says, if you're not scared, you're not going fast enough. So then I was very scared. I was like, bro, I'm not scared. I'm going to keep going. This was the best I've ever ridden. I mean, I couldn't believe how in control I felt and safe. Because usually I ride really, really safe. And now, yes, do I crash later on? Sure. But I have ridden something like 13,000 miles per incident, which is really low. That's a crazy ratio, right? But right here, I get a little too cocky and I almost crashed.
Okay, what the fuck?
Bro, on a road bike with a rigid seat post, you are eating dirt right there. But with this bike, it just ate that up, no problem. Now we need to regroup. We need to catch up. We need top 20. So let's go.
Still dreaming, caught in the notion. You got my heart and my devotion. Up in the sky, high on emotion. Don't ever wake me, leave me out in the open. The only one who made me fly, the only one who left me high, high and dry.
Dude, this bike just eats those descents. I lost a little time on that hike-a-bike, but we're gonna catch back up. We got it, dude. We've paced so well. I'm so on top of everything. We got 35 miles left to go. Ew.
So now I give the cows hey man, not today, buddies. And I've got 3 people in front of me. So right now I'm probably 20th, 19th, 18th, something around there. Just phenomenal. That's unbelievable. Now, like, I've been on the trainer for 90 days. Outside of the snow trip that I did where I froze my wiener off and legitimately got grade 1 frostbite on the tip of my wiener, that's a story I will tell you soon. But other than that trip, I've been on the trainer just nonstop for 90 days. And my power on the trainer has been unbelievable. Like, the gains I'm making because of how amazing the trainer is for trainer, is, I honestly thought, like, okay, there's probably a glitch. Something's happening. Now, this guy had an issue. A lot of people are going to have issues. I'm so happy that my issue is not taking me out of the race. So, like, positive Panda, I'm still riding. But I always think sometimes, man, Zwift power isn't real power. So yeah, am I like doing these insane, I rode for 14 hours and averaged 205 watts, raw average. Okay. But that's not real. So then I came into this thinking like, well, dude, my power on Zwift and my numbers is so amazing, but what if I can't even apply that? But look at this, dude. This is not a Zwifter, right? I mean, I'm flying right now. I'm making up so much time on these little hits. And to this point right now, my normalized power is like 280 watts. My normalized is 280 watts and we're like 3.5, 4 hours in. Look at this. Yo, this Grizzle, the Cindy Grizzle, makes up 15 seconds on this guy without power. And that's last year. I would like, it was all power. Like, the only time I made up time on anyone was power. I would just be power up a climb or wherever. And then as soon as we hit like a technical section, they're gone. Bro, I was getting cocky though. And I was feeling so good. I was in the flow state. Now, if you don't know what flow state is, it's where you just feel one with everything. So hippie. But man, I am on it. I'm rolling like, again, probably 17th, 18th right now. And I know for sure because there's another really big climb. And I mean, we have like 20 miles left to ride. And I've got so much gas left. And so I feel like, dude, there's a chance that I could maybe work my way close to top 10. But right now, all I got to do is not get past and I will have achieved my goal. Now, this doesn't maybe look like much, okay? The stabilization on the GoPro is impossibly good. And I've got it in my mouth, so you can kind of see a little bit of how the bars are jarring. But man, this is, if you go off the line, there's hidden rocks everywhere in the grass, and it's extremely bumpy. So it's like, and I'm doing 22, 25 right here, because it's sort of a false flat. And I am going between pedaling and not pedaling. But you can see these huge boulders, dude. You know how much that would yeet you? But I'm in the flow state. I'm vibing. I'm so good right now. Carbed up, fueled up, ketones, rolling, bike's great. And then I see a guy up the road. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to catch another guy. Oh my goodness, I'm going to catch another guy. And then, oops.
Shit, dude.
So let's break this down. There's a rock right here. I pedal strike that rock and it yeets me into the ground. My head bounces twice. My whole body bounces. I'm tumbling. Look at my dumb face. Oof.
No, dude, that was not okay.
Oh shit, sorry.
Shit. Oh, dude. I lost my glasses. Shit. Bro, I've never crashed. That's the hardest I've ever crashed on a bicycle. It honestly felt like a dream for a second. I was like, am I dreaming? Why am I tumbling? Bro, that was, I don't even understand what happened.
So my left eye stopped working when I hit the ground. And so I was like, it took me a minute to sort of like, should I even continue riding? Should I pull out? Is my brain damaged? But now I'm running a brand new custom fitted 3D printed made in America helmet from CAF. This is the second ride on it. You can see this animation. This is a real MRI of the helmet. And so the 3D printing, so I'm told, allows for them to make this like internal hexagon that gives these like crumple zones and the ability to sort of mimic like a MIPS or a spin technology that disperses energy from impact. So that's the helmet, the CAV helmet. It fits amazing because it's custom fitted to your head. Cool. But did it do its job? And it's hard to say, obviously. I'm going to talk a little bit here. Like I keep going, but I'm so worried that I'm going to hit my head again. You know, you don't want to hit your head twice. One hit is good enough. Don't crash again. So I'm sort of actually, now that I'm watching the footage back, like this is kind of crazy how fast I'm going after blowing my head up. Because like I said, my left eye was crossed for 5 minutes. I couldn't get it to work. It was kind of like paralyzed.
Coming, Sarah. Awesome. Thank you.
But the helmet took all of the blunt. Like I didn't break a collarbone or a shoulder or a hip or anything. None of my body hurt. So then that means that my entire big ass head took the entire force. So the fact that I, one, didn't get knocked out is actually crazy. My eye came back, and look, I don't want to like flex, but your boy used to do MMA. I used to punch people in the face and get punched. I also did a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've gotten hit in the head before and had my eye stop working in a very similar way. So I actually wasn't alarmed by that. But then I got this huge second wind. And so then I was just motoring so hard trying to catch people, caught this guy on this mountain bike that we saw earlier in the video. And the guy in the black just up the road, I got to apologize to him because I thought he cut the course. I actually took the long way around. So he actually, I thought he cut the course. And I was like, dude, you cut the course. And then I couldn't get on his wheel, but it was my bad. I took a wrong turn. So sorry, dude. I kind of like sort of talked a little bit of shit after the race. My bad. I apologize. I'm a big man for it. So anyways, my bike isn't fast in that section. So he gapped me. I was so bummed. Then I catch one more guy right at the finish. You know, it's like, dude, if I hadn't taken that wrong turn, potentially I could have gotten like 4 or 5 more people. This guy almost crashes. I go to the right. I make a huge oopsie. Again, hit this hole. Whatever. That was 25th right there in front of me. So even after all these issues, I rolled in 26th, which I'm actually really happy about because, man, one, I could have got knocked out. I could have broke a collarbone. Tyler Williams broke a collarbone. My bike could have broke. So many things could have went wrong. They didn't. And so then I went straight to our booth to slang t-shirts, dude.
What a booth, huh?
I mean, immediately after riding 80 miles and getting 26th and crashing and all that, the response to our booth was unbelievable. And so I didn't even get out of my bibs. Dude, I stayed in my bibs till like 8 o'clock at night. The love here was unbelievable. I cannot recommend this event more.
All right, so we got 26th, which, you know, my goal was top 20, and I don't want to make vegan excuses, but like without the 2 major issues I had, definitely think I could have rolled in on top. It doesn't matter. I'm all in one piece. That's awesome. So the new 3D printed helmet, we did get a little break in there, and you can actually see, it's kind of hard to see, but it did its job. I hit my head hard. And the other crazy thing is that there's science about ketones and concussion prevention, and so I was all ketoned up. So I think that things could have went really, really bad. And it's hard sometimes when you're feeling good and everything's going great to like not look at it that way. Like I just want to look at like all the negative things suck. But man, every bad thing that did happen was it wasn't a showstopper, right? The issue that I had with the chain and the mud, I mean, guys broke their chains. So, anyways, great race, phenomenal course. That is, I would say, probably the #1 gravel course I've ever raced. It was so much fun, so technical. It was like you had to have power, but you had to have skill, and you had to be sending. I mean, it was tremendous. The booth space that we've got here has just been phenomenal. Rex came up, helping out with the booth. The guy's killing it, right? I mean, it's been. What do you think? Like, this is sick, right?
Yeah, it's awesome, man. People are stoked and they like the product and they recognize that we're out here to have fun and ride bikes, and yeah, it's good vibes.
If you're on the fence about coming out to the Cobbler, I mean, look, if you just ride it, I mean, 80 miles isn't that bad, right? Like, anyone can really get it done. It's just gonna take you wanting to get it done, but it is so much fun. I would say, honestly, it's my #1 event in California for sure, if you can make it out here. But I'll definitely be here next year. Thanks.